Welcome back, everyone. Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and while the Holocaust resulted in the murder of 6 million Jews, 1/3 of the Jewish people, there were some Jewish people who survived the horrors of the atrocious concentration camps. Two of those survivors are Felix and Bluma Goldberg. They were born in Poland, and after surviving near death in the many concentration camps in which they were forced to exist, the end of the war finally came. After years of torture, they were liberated and eventually moved here to Colombia. Felix and Bluma later became friends with Frank Baker. And Mr. Baker joins me now. He has taken his friend's situation and made it into a graphic novel called We Survived the Holocaust, the Bluma and Felix Goldberg story. I'm so glad to have you here today. Tell me about the Goldbergs. You knowing them on such a personal level, they had to be amazing people of strength.
You know, I wish this book had been titled Risk, Resilience, and Renewal. Mr. Goldberg, before he passed away, spoke at our synagogue during Yom HaShoah, which is known as the Day of Remembrance, back in April. And he testified about his harrowing Holocaust experience. You know, it's one thing to read a Holocaust survivor story in a book, see it in a film, but to hear it face to face, it had a tremendous impact on me. And at the end of this ceremony, he was greeting people, and he came up to me. He knew I was an education consultant, and he handed me this speech, Dondi, and he said, "Frankie," in this beautiful Polish accent, "Frankie, do something with this." And what I did was I went to the family members, and I said, "I'd like to create a website for educators, storiesofsurvival.org, that tells his story and hers." They were both two young Polish Jews caught up in Hitler's final solution, and both were slave laborers. You know, in December we celebrated Hanukkah, a holiday that commemorates a miracle. It is a miracle that these two people survived.
And I love that they came to Colombia and they have told you their story. If we could now show this video, Frank, explain to our viewers, you tell the story in the form of pictures combined with narrative, and this is some of the artwork that is in the book. It's called a graphic novel. As we continue to watch this video, explain to our viewers the idea of a graphic novel.
Well, this medium, this genre, is one of the most popular in schools today. Every Shakespeare play is now a graphic novel. This format reaches hard to teach young people, but not just them. They can learn history, and this is one of our goals. A lot of young people are not familiar with the Holocaust. The surveys indicate an appalling lack of knowledge when it comes to what the Holocaust was all about. So taking their story from the website to the book was a natural for me, and we've been sharing it. And I will tell you, the Goldberg family, thank God, has just donated a copy of this book to every middle and high school in the state.
Yeah, how important, because it is quite frightening when you realize how many generations are not knowing about the Holocaust in our history. Tell me about the artist, Tim Ogline?
Tim Ogline. He's an award-winning illustrator already. I was very fortunate to be partnered with Tim. You know, I knew the Goldberg story, so I was writing scenes and I was writing dialogue as if I was a screenwriter. And he was then illustrating each of them. And I do want to tell you about one image in the book, if I can.
Yes, please.
Several months ago, Tim sent me the image of Bluma's family running from their home the day the Nazis invaded and burned their home. And I immediately thought of Ukraine. These are the same people running for their lives. They don't know where they're going to sleep tonight. They don't know where their food's going to come from tomorrow. It's a fear of the unknown. And I always think that the Goldbergs, every day that they woke up, is this my last day on earth? Is God around? Will I survive? What happened to my parents and my sisters? Many of them did not survive.
Let's give our viewers the information. If we can pull up a picture of the book, it is the book that is called We Survived the Holocaust, the Bluma and Felix Goldberg story. You can order your copy at wesurvivetheholocaust.com. And I have a link right now on my Facebook page, so you can go to that. And not only is this going into the schools, but proceeds are being donated as well.
Absolutely. I'm giving the royalties, my royalties for the sale of this book, to Holocaust education efforts in the state.
Frank.
So anybody that buys a book, they're contributing to that effort.
An author with an amazing purpose. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Frank
for having
Baker.
me.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank
you. Well, thank you for that interview. Coming up next, we're going to have details about a community Valentine's dance for children. More Soda City Live right after this.